Welcome to another edition of Carnivore Bites. Your host, Jeff Sherman, along with Dr. Eric Lopkin. There's some amusement out there with the Cohen hearings, but I'm not really amused, Dr. Lopkin. I mean, our President of the United States, like him or not, is in Vietnam negotiating with a real adversary, a real threat to America and the world, right? Existential threat. Our Democratic colleagues are having a show trial with a disbarred, basically marginal lawyer at best. And by the way, a condemnation against Trump. He does not surround himself with the best and brightest. People like...
No, unfortunately, he does not.
Cohen, he went to like Hector University Law School. And then you got the Roger Stone, not exactly a Mensa candidate either. So, but on the other hand, having a trial, a show trial, just a show trial for the media that will feed on it for another week, while a president of the United States is in Vietnam negotiating with a real existential threat, not global warming, Kim Jong-un. And I find it disgusting. What do you think, Dr. Lopkin?
It's absolutely ridiculous. They are getting testimony from someone who has been convicted of lying to Congress. So what makes this testimony any more credible than his last testimony?
Well, and also it's he said, she said. I mean, so now the new standard in America is that you want to take out your political opponent. You have, let's say you worked for the X company, okay, Company X. And the new president, Bob Johnson, ran Company X. You want to take him out? Have some people that got fired, which Cohen essentially was, not being asked to be chief of staff and other positions at the White House after being a confidant for over 10 years. So people got fired. So basically have them in Congress testifying about any offhand comments, private comments. I mean, where does this end?
The Democrats have basically decided that people are now guilty until proven innocent. There is no reason to bother looking at evidence, actual evidence. Hearsay is good enough. They have decided that their power and their temper tantrum are more important than the American people.
There's no question about it. And you don't like... By the way, and to examine and drill down why you hate Donald Trump, I still don't know the actual reason for that. I mean zero unemployment, the economy smoking. He's a real racist. Yeah, that's why his son-in-law is Jewish. His daughter converted to Judaism, and his grandkids are Jewish. But he's a racist.
All right, he's not a racist. But the fact of the matter is, he's not a nice person. And the left can't stand that. They want everything to be politically correct, and they want everybody to be comfortable with each other's feelings. His accomplishments don't matter. The fact that he has done more for the African-American economy than any president since back before Johnson... The fact that people actually have jobs and have money in their pockets, and he's gotten better trade deals, Dr. Lopkin, none of that matters.
Dr. Lopkin, that's the real crux of the matter, is his accomplishments scare the hell out of a party that's accomplished nothing.
Yeah,
he has
essentially proven that everything they are doing has been useless.
So they're scared to death, and they know if this guy actually gets traction, they are going to be just like Reagan, put them out to pasture for a good 15 years. They will be in the wilderness once again. They know it. I know it. You know it. And the audience knows it. Correct or not?
Absolutely. That's why they've made this incredible turn to socialism, because they have to be absolutely diametrically opposed to Trump. And let's face it, Trump is the embodiment of capitalism.
Absolutely. Good, well done, good analysis. Now, the only sticking point is really the Stormy Daniels, which, by the way, let's just be fair. Trump is not a highbrow guy. Let's just agree to that.
No,
he's not a moral, the beacon of morality. He's a lowlife. He is a lowlife. He's like a South Philly businessman. The king of schlock. I really do believe it.
He's on the same level as the owner of the New England Patriots.
Absolutely. No, they're
Bob Kraft.
two peas in a pod, have no moral compass. But you know something? I'm not dating him. I don't care.
It's true. He has not done anything to actually show he's a racist or he's against anybody. He has actually gone out of his way. I mean, he's certainly been the best friend that the Jews in Israel have had.
But wait a second. No, that's another. No, hold on. That is another issue that really bothers me. All these Jews, and I am one of them, okay? Blumenthal, denying Dick, right? The council, Lanny Davis, they're putting political expediency over their own. I can't even go there.
Because they don't care about anybody but themselves. They don't identify as any group unless they can kowtow to them for votes. That's it.
Okay, and they're embracing the new left, which is essentially anti-Israeli, anti-Semitic, but they're good with that.
Yeah, they're fine with that. Never mind the fact that, again, Trump has been the best friend to Jews in Israel. He has been fantastic for the African-American community. He actually signed into law efforts to stop other countries from cracking down on homosexuality. How is this anything other than a civil rights advocate?
Okay, but it's not their civil rights advocate. And the other one is, when you look at Obama, okay, Fast and Furious, pretty much an illegal act. The worst thing that ever happened to Israel since president since he was the worst president since the creation of Israel for the state of Israel. Yes or no, Dr. Lopkin?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
There's no question. No, and basically bordering on anti-Semitism. How does that sound?
Yeah, I mean, they let him get away with everything. I mean, let's not forget, he weaponized the IRS against his political enemies. He threw freedom of the press out the window when the FBI illegally got records from the Associated Press. He hacked the cell phones of our allies. None of that matters.
And if you ask anyone, he's holier than thou.
Yep.
And other people, especially even in the Jewish community, Blumenthal, other so-called leaders. Oh, he was great. He was no problem. The only issue is really the Stormy Daniels. When you really boil it down, basically you can't take this crap seriously about, he said this about black people, because if that's the bar, then everyone's under suspicion, because unless you're the flying nun, everyone said off-colored remark or flippant remarks, under the, who are you? The Pope? Come on. The Pope said something.
And there's no indication that what he said wasn't sarcastic, wasn't, pushing people's budget.
Yeah, if you're going into the black and white transcript of anything, yeah, of course.
Right.
And if that's the standard, I'm sure Eisenhower has said, he definitely said off-colored stuff. Nixon was no saint. If you want saints, you're going to get crappy leaders, and you deserve what you get. You get Barack Obama.
Clinton.
That's what you get.
You think Clinton never made off-color comments? Come on.
No one anyone that's done anything, yes, has made off-colored comments. The real issue, Dr. Lopkin, is where does this go? And I wanted to direct the ending of this discussion on two things. Stormy Daniels. Does it have legs for impeachment or not? Because that's what we're really talking about.
I don't think it does. If they do suddenly decide that this rises to impeachment, then what we have is the Democrats completely hijacking the system. They're taking Trump to court over declaring a state of emergency, but they are steamrolling the Bill of Rights and the Constitution.
Okay, yes. I don't know if they care, but also you have activist judges because it really started in the lower district of New York. The other issue is WikiLeaks. Supposedly, Roger Stone called him up and said, Julian Assad's going to dump these WikiLeaks hacks, and Trump said,
Right.
Awesome, something like that. Who wouldn't say that?
They can't make a case out of that.
Is it impeachable?
No, WikiLeaks is not a foreign power. The Trump campaign did not help WikiLeaks get the documents. Simply knowing that WikiLeaks has documents is not even a crime, never mind high crimes and misdemeanor.
Okay, and in closing, how about the racial issues, paraphrasing that there's no every black leader is basically presiding against a shithole. That's not my terminology. That's what the transcript said, and that blacks are too stupid to vote for him. What happens about that?
If he said it, and quite frankly, I don't put a lot of credibility in the fact that he did, but if he said it, politically it's a bad football, but again, it's not a crime, it's not an impeachable offense.
Agreed on both. Thank you very much, Dr. Lopkin. Great edition of Carnivore Bites.
See you next week.
You've been listening to Carnivore Radio's podcast. You can catch us here every week. Carnivore Radio is part of the Xvadio podcast network. You can listen to the podcast at blogtalkradio.com/Xvadio. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can listen to us live every Friday at 4 o'clock on WESU 88.1 Middletown, Connecticut. You can also catch us online at WESUFM.org. We look forward to hearing from you, and see you next week.
There, bye.